met her in the fall. He took her to a movie, and when they done it all, he took.
Hello and welcome to the Fabulous Picture Show. I'm Amanda Palmer, and this week we're joined by American writer-director James Toback for a screening of his visceral new documentary, Tyson. Toback had unprecedented access to the ultra-candid champ.
When I was falsely accused of raping that wretched swine of a woman.
But then, they're old pals.
Toback, deviancy. Toback, deviancy.
Also on the show, he's the French master of the mise-en-scène. But now he's kicking derriere. That's French for bottom. But first, a lot of people from around the world feel they know Britain, especially London's Notting Hill, because of the lovey-dovey films of writer-director Richard Curtis. And his latest is set in Britain's most loved-up era of all.
Here it comes, especially for you, the F word. Uh-oh.
The year is 1967.
First, though, this very fine piece of music.
And Britain's top pirate DJs are broadcasting offshore and outside the reach of the law.
The authorities already dislike us. If you do this, they will hate us, and by hook or by crook, they'll find a way to close us down.
Yeah, they can't close us down. We're pirates. That's why we're sitting out here in the middle of the friggin' ocean.
Pirate radio stations. I have told the Prime Minister that we will shut them down within 12 months.
They're not, in fact, outside of the law at the moment, sir.
You are the villain, huh?
Yes.
You don't look like a villain, but you are a villain in this film, convincingly.
I am, thank you very much. I am Sir Alistair Dormandy, and my job in The Boat That Rocked is to stop all the people having fun with pop music.
I'm going red and my tongue's getting tired.
The enemy of good times.
Yeah, the enemy of good times, because I believe as a member of the establishment in around 1967 that the pirate radio pumping out this kind of music that seems to produce frenzy and fun will dismantle society. It'll stop people wearing neckties, it'll make them grow their hair. It has to be stopped.
You're not wearing a necktie, by the way. I did notice that, and I'm not very happy about this.
Okay, I've listened to too much music in this film. That's what's happened. You see the evidence before.
Corrupted.
That's my point.
And this next song is dedicated to the coolest man in the whole of the world, and he's about to step onto this boat.
25 million people listened to the DJs, who played rock and pop 24 hours a day, whilst the BBC was playing just 2 hours a week.
Any film where you enter the film to a Rolling Stones track, it's kind of a dream come true, isn't it?
In the film, IFANS plays Gavin, who returns to Radio Rock to challenge authorities.
And you must be the Count.
And the reign of top DJ.
I am he.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I wonder what that makes me, the king.
Or the clown.
The cast includes newcomer Tom Sturridge. And some of Britain's best-loved comedians.
I think we can have a funny shot.
Whom director Richard Curtis threw into boat camp for rehearsals.
We spent 4 days and 3 nights on board.
The song coming up, Bob Dylan playing over the speakers.
And they'd place you at different points in the boat, and it was like one of those, you know, pop movies.
At night, we'd all eat together.
We watched MASH, and I think we watched Animal House.
I don't think, actually, you guys were making a film. I think you went on holiday on a boat.
And they just shot it.
You lived your fantasies, and that's just the camcorder, huh?
Yeah, it was like a Lars von Trier kind of Dogma-style production, but we had like £15 billion to make it.
And you allowed a music track, because Lars von Trier won't allow music in his film.
Oh, of course. Oh, right. Well, that's where I prefer Richard to Lars.
Yeah.
I'm saying Lars like I know him. I've never even been to Denmark.
Wouldn't it be nice to get on with me neighbours?
I renamed this jovially as Boat Party because everybody's told me what a fantastic time they've had.
Well, I'm delighted to tell you I didn't have a good time. Directing a movie is very difficult and tense. But, you know, all said and done, they were a very enjoyable bunch of boys.
Curtis has a knack for creating memorable male characters.
Time, honestly. Yes, time! It's about 10 to 9. Oh.
The best shag you ever had?
Britney Spears.
Wow.
No, only kidding. She was rubbish.
I know you're a New Zealander by birth, but you have always shaped a view of Britain that isn't rose-tinted, but it's certainly optimistic.
I think that it's possible to write about sad things, but most people in Britain, a lot of the time, are very happy hanging out with their friends, falling in love.
I now declare you man and stunning wife.
So I think it's good that once in a while people write about the perky things, and somehow that seems to be in my nature.
I don't know that it's so rose-tinted. He mocks, though, and he satirises, you know, from an emotional point of view, the repression and suppression of the English male, the desire for the passionate and romantic expression to be part of their everyday life, a sort of farty inability to find the inner Clark Gable or Brad Pitt and instead, you know, offer up a certain kind of barbed sense of humour.
We thought we'd never die, but, well, you can't fight City Hall.
Counting down and out for the count at last. 3, 2, 1, and the rest is silence.
Well done, Ted.
Thank you, sir.
Agree.
But as always with Curtis, there's a happy ending.
Only kidding, dudes! Let's rock!
Director Bertrand Tavernier has been making great French cinema for decades, but his latest project took him to the France of America, down in the electric mist of the Louisiana Bayou. FPS's Lama Matter recently had a tete-a-tete with the man.
I hope this poor girl was dead before he started carving on her like that.
This poor girl didn't have a whole lot of good luck, Dave.
In the Electric Mist stars Tommy Lee Jones as Detective Dave Robichaud, on the hunt for a serial killer in and around the swamps of Louisiana.
What was his name? Who cares what's his name? I think he got what he asked for.
Detective Robichaud appears as a central character in a series of popular crime novels by American James Lee Burke.
There's an obvious love from you for the voice of American South that he has in his novels.
Yes, I discover a man who is beautiful. I mean, a real Democrat, somebody obsessed by fighting against racial prejudice, against the arrogance of the criminals.
Playing the flashy role of a local mobster and murder suspect is John Goodman.
I talk on the phone every day to people in California. You read about in Entertainment Weekly. Yeah, it was wonderful. It was, I like being bad and getting paid for it. You said some ugly things about me, Dave, and I'm gonna let it slide.
Do you find something particularly compelling about regional crime as opposed to city crime?
Maybe. I've never thought of that. I mean, crime stories are great. It's a good way to explore the soul of people. It's a good way to explore the society.
For over 35 years, Tavernier has explored many societies, eras and genres, often injecting social commentary, even in his crime films. His Oscar-nominated Coup de Torchon, about a bungling police officer turned heartless killer, transplanted a novel by hard-boiled cult hero Jim Thompson from small-town America to the French colony of Senegal in 1938. Tavernier's films are renowned for evoking a palpable sense of time and place, or mise en scène, such as his languid portrait of an aging painter in 1912 rural France, the multi-award-winning A Sunday in the Country.
I love in my films to explore a place, a culture. When I do an historical film, I want to know everything. The light, the food, the way people were dressed, everything.
Le génie a fait du bon travail. Il y a déjà une quarantaine d'exhumés, presque tous identifiés.
Vous avez la liste nominative?
Oui, oui.
In Life and Nothing But, he explored the plight of 350,000 missing French soldiers just after World War I.
Mon cabinet est spécialisé dans la disparition militaire. Et je suis accrédité.
Fichez-nous la paix. Envoyez-le promener, madame, c'est des voleurs.
One of the best French historians about the First World War said that I was 10 years ahead of every historian in the world. When I read that, I'm very, very happy. I mean, it's better than any award.
You sound so hungry for it still.
Yes, I kept the same enthusiasm that when I started. I think I'm always making my first film.
It's time for you to let people alone, Mr. Robichaud.
In part 2, we're joined by James Toback, the filmmaker of Tyson, which is about the man himself, Mike Tyson. How on earth did you get Mike Tyson to say some of that? How did you get him on screen?
Mike is a confessional character by nature once he gets going. He had been crashed, literally, in a car, arrested for coke, put in a rehab, and it forced him to be focused, meditative, and analytical. And I thought, there'll never be a better time to do this movie we've been talking about doing for about 7 years.
Well, it's an amazing film. We're going to screen that in part 2. Join us then.